Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2025 Pan American Mixed Endurance Series sponsored by S Hotel. We have GT3s and hypercar sharing the field, 6 intense rounds. And that is Jaden Harrison sizing up and moving now and moves to the inside, and there's contact. And we're off to a cool start. Omar Scorsio sitting in the slipstream, and it will be a drag race now. Down to Sunset Bend by turn 13. On the inside is that Cadillac. And this is the final lap. Ian Lance moves on the inside, and Perez moves on the outside back, tries to make his move.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for another wonderful round brought to you by JSRA, sponsored by the S Hotel. This is the 2025 calendar, and this is the Endurance Mixed Class Series on LMU. We've been to Spa-Francorchamps, we've been to Imola. How about Sebring, Interlagos, and Circuit de la Sarthe for our endurance round last week? We had a wonderful time. We had a wonderful series, but all good things have to come to an end when we're closing things out at a British track, and we're closing things out for 2025. But don't fret, folks. There will be more racing yet to come before the new year, so stay tuned for more information in the JSRA Discord for all of that news to follow very shortly. Of course, as I said, this is round 6. And we're headed to Silverstone for our sprint finale. Buenas noches, Ronaldo. Practice is going to be around 55 minutes long. Qualifying will be 20 minutes long, allowing 10 minutes for each set of classes to get their qualifying running in. The race is only going to be 45 minutes as this is a sprint race. We do have standard tire wear, but we have 2 times fuel. So the drivers will have to make an expected at least 1 pit stop to make it to the end of this sprint race. Very exciting, very challenging, very gruesome for sure. Looking forward to seeing how the drivers negotiate the challenges set forth by the great Silverstone track. Let's talk about Silverstone a little bit, shall we? Track length of 3.6 miles or 5.8 kilometers long. It was founded in 1948. It's been the current layout since 2020. We're in Northamptonshire, England. We have 18 corners, 8 to the left, 10 to the right, with 30 feet or 11 meters of elevation change. It was turned from a runway to a racetrack. Silverstone was originally a World War II Royal Air Force bomber station. Its layout still reflects the triangular shape of the former airfield runways. Silverstone is known as the home of British motorsports and has hosted the British Grand Prix almost every year since Formula One World Championship began in 1950. Silverstone hosted the inaugural Formula One World Championship race on May 13th, 1950. It was attended by King George VI, making it the first and only F1 race to be graced by a reigning British monarch. All the drivers are in pit lane currently. We're just waiting for the session to go ahead and tick over before we go trackside and give you some more Silverstone details scattered about throughout this event. Let's talk about the championship standings once the drivers get gridded up. Here, some drivers starting their engines and roaring down the pit lane now. We're ready to go trackside, folks. Ready to go trackside, folks, as soon as LMU decides to work with me. Stand by. Go back over to the calendar for just a moment while we resolve this technical issue. I apologize. Alrighty. Technical issues resolved, and we're back up and running. Apologize for the delay. Drivers just getting their outlaps going right now anyways, so things are looking pretty good for all of the drivers currently on track. We have Jackman, Boyce, Harris, Moss, Robinson, Barahona, Narcé, Keller, Bryan, Titus, Dotton, Suavi, De Silva, Eastman, Martin, Santa Maria, all competing for this event. That'll leave 16 drivers out on the racetrack tonight. Target time to beat is a 2:01.715. That was set by Moss. Robinson, only 9 thousandths off the mark. Barahona is a full second off the mark currently. Bryan, 3/10 back in third place. Keller, 1.3. Dotton, 1.9. Titus, 2.2. Suavi goes up 1.3. De Silva goes up 2.7. Eastman jumps up into 5th, 8/10 back. A whole bunch of lap times trickling in now. Cesar Barahona, the man on screen right now, leads the championship with 61 points after 5 rounds. Jaden Harrison is in 2nd place with 42 points. In 3rd place, it'll be Kay Moss. Casey Jackman in 4th position. Mission Wallace in 5th. Shannon Doughton in 6th. Rohei Robinson, Rowan Harris, Ricardo Swoby, and Nathan Bryan round out the top 10. And of course, that's for the GT3 category only. Cesar Barahona goes purple through Sector 2 now. Can they carry the speed and momentum through the final sector, coming down the Wellington Straight now? And in through left field. Cesar Barahona, good enough for 3rd position there. That's enough to compete with at this point in time, but it's no Rohei Robinson, who's 9 thousandths back from Kurt Moss out in P1 current. Making our way through Maggots and Beckett's. To the hangar straight. Rohei Robinson just 70 thousandths, excuse me, off the mark from their personal best time. Vale and Club now down the Hamilton Straight in towards Abbey, the fast right-hander. Purple Sector 2 though. Into Farm Curve, then Village and the Loop. And then to pump it out of Antry. Robinson needs to keep it calm, cool, and collected coming down Brooklands and in through left field now. He only needs 9 thousandths of a second to improve to get provisional pole. Will it be enough for Rohei Robinson? He needs 2/10 now as Moss sets a new personal best. A 2:01.8 won't be enough. 2:01.1. 2:01.5 was set by Kurt Moss, and that will be the new pole position time that everybody has to beat. With 11:30 left on the clock, Moss and Rohei Robinson both head back to pit row. What about Cesar Barahona? They're on a flyer right now. Finding 9 thousandths himself is Cesar Barahona, who got bumped back into 4th position. Now down to 5th for Barahona as Jackman goes forward. Cesar Barahona coming down the Hamilton Straight into Abbey. And then the Farm Curve is calling his name. Into Village, then the Loop. And now a quick dive through Antry. Down to Brooklyn Straight we go. Wellington Straight into Brooklands for Sector 2. And the hypercars are rolling out of pit lane as we speak, folks. The final opportunity for Cesar Barahona. Does he have enough time in the bag? No. That will be 5th place for the championship leader for the start of this qualifying run. Unfortunately, concluding it for himself. Qualifying for the GT3s is now complete. Unfortunately, the results are not quite posted yet. Go trackside with Mikael Charles and talk about the championship leaders in the hypercar category. In the hypercar category, it will be Omar Escorcia leading by 61 points in front of Carl Eaton with 49 points, Emilio Andreas Mora with 47 points, Mikael Charles in 4th position with 45 points. So this race will have championship implications for all of the drivers. Javier Brando in 5th, Daniel Velez in 6th, Raven Plummer in 7th, Ian Lance, Andres Quevedo, Miguel Beltran, Bruce Pina, Daniel Garcia, and the Cisneros in the 13th spot. Mikael Charles leads the field and the charge on the evening, so of course he's going to have a purple sector 1 currently as he gets his outlap dialed in and does his first flyer. Expect the times to come down pretty rapidly for the hypercars as the tires get warmed up, because there are no tire warmers in the hypercar category or the LMGT3 category. The drivers having to warm up their tires by putting their rubber to the road, and that's about all they have to generate that heat into their rubber compounds. Mikael Charles does go provisional pole, but for how long will that time stick? A 1:43.204. Daniel Velez pops into 2nd place. Andreas Covido pops into 3rd place. Danidos Garcia into 4th. Javier Brando bumps Danidos Garcia back into 4th position. Cisneros pops into 5th, bumping Danidos Garcia back even further. 1:48.548, not good enough for the top spot from Danidos. We still have Cam Mora, Carol Eaton, Omar Escorcia yet to run valid laps so far. But they are on track. Mikael Charles absolutely sending it, man. He is on a spender right now. Let's check out Daniel Velez if we have some Velez fans in the chat. Daniel Velez currently on an outlap, so this won't be a time indicative of his personal best. This will just be a outlap, obviously. It's got to be the target time, though, of 1:43.204. So something was quite not right with his setup. He came back to pit row, to reset, regather himself, and head back out on track. Coming into Abbey now. Daniel Velez running in currently second place. Gets bumped back to third place, as Carl Eaton finally does get a lap in a 1:44.785. Almost 2 seconds back. Mikel Charles is running away with it. There he goes, Daniel Velez bobbing and weaving his way across the racing surface, trying to generate some heat coming down the Wellington Straight before he got to the corner of Brooklands. Daniel Velez coming through sector 1 now. It's all green, nothing but net for Daniel Velez currently running in P3. Squirrely on throttle there coming out of Vale and Club. He's down on his personal best now. Doesn't mean he still can't find some improvement coming into sector 3. He's a little bit deep coming through the loop now, and I wonder if he's just setting himself up for another flyer. Doesn't quite have the heat he probably needs in those tires just yet. Mikel Charles 1:42.966 will be his best lap. Carl Eaton with a 1:43.9. Daniel Velez goes deep and into the grass coming out of the final corner. And he's got a lot of work ahead of him now. Coming into Copse for his 4th lap around. Beckett's, Chapel. Daniel Velez driving on the limit of friction. Gets bumped down into 4th position. Daniel Velez approaching sector 2 with 45 seconds left on the clock. Has got to put the hurry up and go on sooner rather than later. Not looking great for his lap times currently for Daniel Velez. Gets bumped down to 5th position, Daniel Velez does. Let's see what they have in store when they cross the line. Daniel Velez, no improvement to be found. 1:44.8 is all she wrote. Let's check out Cam Mora now. He's chasing down the number 6 Penske car. Yeah, Moore does find some improvement with a 144.464. It's good enough for 4th position there. Andreas Guivido driving the number 7 Toyota machine, currently running in 6th position. Gets to the line for Guivido, 145.459, still only good enough for that 6th position for Guivido. 2.5 off the mark, unfortunately, as qualifying comes to a conclusion. Daniel Velez should be the last driver to cross the line, as they're the last one to get a bonus lap. Daniel Velez, purple to sector 1, good enough for a 4th position, bumps back Cam Mora, and that'll be a 144.189er out of Daniel Velez. But qualifying has concluded, folks. Just waiting for the session to tick over before we get the qualifying results in.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
And let's get those session results posted. Actually, let's just do the starting order, as I believe that's a little bit more information for us. Starting order on row number 1. We have Michael Charles and Omar Escorcia. Row number 2. Row number 1, it's Michael Charles and Omar Escorcia. Row number 2 will be Carl Eaton and Daniel Velez in 4th position. Row number 3 will be Cam Moore and Andres Guivido. On the 4th row, it'll be Javier Brando and Benitos Garcia. Row number 5, Cisneros and Miguel Betran in 10th position. Row number 6, it'll be Raven Plummer and Ian Lance. Bruce Pena is going to round out the hypercars with Kay Moss starting in first place for the GT3s. Then we have on row 8, Vicente De Silva and Rohey Robinson. Casey Jackman and Cesar Barahona on row 9. Nathan Bryan and Kaimani Eastman on row 10. Rohan Harris and Ricardo Swoby on row 11.
Formation lap has started.
Roger Keller and Shannon Doughton on row number 12. Row 13 will be Matt Titus and Julian Narcé. Joel Santamaria and AJ Martin on row 14. Row 15 will be Patrick Boyce and Aiden Alex Jarrett. That should conclude all of the drivers that are participating tonight. While I watch the hypercars, we're going to watch the GT3 field as well.
Green flag, green flag.
And green, 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 away we go, leading down in towards corner number 1. It'll be a 3-wide situation coming down in towards Cops, but it looks like Michael Charles has the jump on Omar Escarcia. Carl Eaton in 3rd, Daniel Velez in 4th, Cam Moore in 5th, Andres Corvido, Javier Brando, Danitos Garcia, and Cisneros round out the 9 participants in the hypercar category. Let's check in with those GT3s and see their race start as well. Kay Moss leads Rohey Robinson. Cesar Barahona up into 3rd position with Nathan Bryan. Into 4th, Casey Jackman, Kaimani Eastman, Vicente De Silva. Going off track there a little bit, having a little bit of an excursion behind Kaimani Eastman. Number 31 leads over the number 15 Golf livery car. It's pretty neat and tidy for the GT3's start also this evening. Safety cars have the potential of being called out on lap 1 and lap 2, but it doesn't look like we're going to need the safety car intervention anytime soon. Drivers keeping it calm, cool, and collected on the racetrack, just as it would be expected from them. A little side-by-side action here as the Lamborghini Iron Dames tries to go up the inside of the number 46. That's Ricardo Swaby in that 17th spot. And you can see in the front there, Kay Moss trying to shake off the slipstream from Rohey Robinson, Cesar Barahona, and Nathan Bryan, all in tow by just around a second and a half. Forward to the battle between Nathan Bryan and Cesar Barahona. He's only separated by a 10th and a bit of a second. Currently, the 31 trails the number 13. Rohey Robinson potentially being a little bit of a cork in the bottle as the BMW machine seemed to be better in a straight line and through some of the faster corners. But Rohey Robinson seemingly doing okay. 7/10 back from Kay Moss currently. And there is a hypercar off in the distance there. That might be Javier Brando. Brandao is, no, that's Andres Corvido, excuse me. Andres Corvido spun out and is stuck looking the wrong way currently on the racetrack. Casey Jackman, argy bargy, elbows out with the number 31 BMW of Ricardo Swoby. Trying to find a way through at Club and Vale, but narrowly causing a major incident amongst drivers, but definitely now separating themselves into a different pack of drivers. Rohan Harris really trying to charge up the field right now in the number 85 machinery, looking for it at the Lamborghini, goes to the inside. The overlap doesn't exist there. The Lamborghini Iron Dames machine escapes with their wires. Now Shannon Dodd, excuse me, is the BMW behind him in 921. Side by side between Roger Keller and Ricardo Swoby, but here we're on board with that Shannon Dunn battle up the inside. Argy bargy, elbows out, bumping and banging our way through. Roger Keller is getting wheel to wheel with Rohan Harris right now, coming through the final corner. Rohan Harris just lost a ton of track positions, driving a little bit slower than the safety car on the racetrack. Up at the front, still Rohei Robinson, Cesar Barahona, and Nathan Bryan. What happened to our leader, Kay Moss? Might need a replay of what happened to Kay Moss there. Hey, and we have Stephen Stewart in the booth with us now. Can you find the incident that happened with Kay Moss?
Well, watching it live, he just went straight into the pits. Maybe had a drive-through penalty at the beginning of the race, but no other reason why.
Oh, wow. So Rohei Robinson, Cesar Barahona, and Nathan Bryan are the new leaders. A little bit of flashy up the headlights from Cesar Barahona into Rohei Robinson's eyes.
Absolutely. Vincent De Silva as well. Well, it seems as if his race has been undone because he had force feedback failure at the beginning of the race. So that explains his drop in the grid here this evening.
Darn shame to see that happen. Casey Jackman is in the pits now as well. So we're dropping like flies here tonight at Silverstone for the last event. And again, all of these points still have championship implications for second and third place. Cesar Barahona is pretty much locked in to winning the championship right now. Doesn't mean he can't show up. But Jaden Harrison was very, very close.
Well, now is a better time than any.
Now is a better time than any to go ahead and grab those championship points. Hello to Declan Daniel in chat. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for your support. Tevar Clark says, lovely racing, man. This is lovely racing. Nowhere else I'd rather be on my Friday afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world watching this, either live or in the future. Roger Keller and Shannon Doughton now 2/10 separating them. Roger Keller is the one that barged his way through on Rohan Harris. He got checked up there. A couple of cars in that train just walked right on by Rohan Harris. And Harris seems to be falling back a little bit further than most. Shannon Doughton has got to put on a big defense right now because Roger Keller is charging up the field. Has a faster lap than Doughton. And could potentially change up the positions.
Had a little bit of an issue there. Mic check. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. Well, just to give you a quick update, Jaden Harrison will not be racing with us this evening because he's representing Jamaica in the North American esports championship out there on iRacing in the F4. So we can definitely give some support to him tomorrow as he's over in Dominican Republic representing Jamaica.
That's amazing stuff to watch Jaden Harrison compete at such a high level after competing in the Jamaican leagues that I've been broadcasting. To see him compete so much and perform so well, it'll be nice to see him battle some drivers in his own weight class for a change. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely. But yeah, we do look forward to him. A few of the Caribbean drivers, as a matter of fact, Dominic Charles, another one, and Khalil Rickford. But wow, what a battle this is, Cigar, between Roger Shannon and Ron Harris there.
Sure is. 3 different lines being taken coming into Maggots and Beckett's. The battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th is very much still on. 2 cars in equal machinery, 1 car in the rear being different. That lonely Lamborghini tonight. Well, not lonely, yes. Vicente De Silva was driving a Lamborghini for a short amount of time, but unfortunately had a penalty and ended up parking it in the pits for the evening. Shannon Dotton leads the charge in front of Roger Keller, and then Rohan Harris trails behind. Escorcia actually within 2/10 of Mikel Charles down. You might have to briefly look away from this battle to check in with a 3-way menage a trois at the front. Mikel Charles into Omar Escorcia over Carroll.
And that's going to be an interesting battle as well. These two are fighting in the championship, but as it stands, Omar should be able to take this one home. The points do go down to 8th position, 1 point being that 8th position. So that's going to be interesting as well for him. What's even more interesting though is Kurt Moss, who is trying to fight to get back P2 in the championship, in the GT3s right behind him. Ooh, there's a little bit of traffic there. Omar takes the move from Mikhail. Mikhail's stuck in the traffic.
Lap traffic given, lap traffic taken away. One of the things I want to point out too is Omar Escorcia's car is his nose plane is so low to the ground. You'll see the dive planes kicking up sparks as he comes through in some of the slower corners on the track, showing you that he's really dialed in that setup to get it to be as advantageous as possible. And we should see some sparks fly there over the curbs. Yes, we do. But yeah, he's really just doing a great job of setting up the car to be as close to the ground as possible, maximizing that downforce, coming through Maggots and Beckett's, then Chapel. It looks like Carroll Eaton is having a harder time with the traffic and probably cursing under his breath at whomever that was in the BMW. But the BMW just did nothing wrong, just existed at the wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately.
Well, that's Mikhail Charles. But on top of that, what we realized earlier is those GT3s have no downforce, especially in comparison to the hypercars. So especially through Maggots and Beckett's, you're going to see a lot of drama here tonight, as the GT3s will be super slow. As you could see there just yet, the BMW didn't do anything wrong, but there you see, they just have to back out and be as patient as possible, as that is Mikhail Charles just trying to stick to him like glue. As the popular artist Sean Paul would say, does take a look on the inside. They are alongside now. Cigar, what a battle this is becoming here in the, well, mid stages of the race.
Not even mid stages of the race yet. We haven't approached the halfway part. This is just the beginning stages of the race as Carroll Eaton comes down the Wellington straight, looks to the outside line. Whoever finds the traffic is going to be worse for wear. Carroll Eaton trying to split him like a pig right now, but it looks like Omar Escorcia found the gap around the outside, and that works out to be in his favor. These are the GT3 leaders. That'll be Rohit Robinson and Cesar Barahona that we just passed up. And that is going to be an epic battle for the lead of this event. 6/10 separating those GT3 cars currently.
And just a quick correction, that is Mikhail Charles. So this is actually the battle for P1 in the hypercars. So Mikhail Eaton is about 10 seconds behind this battle, but he's fighting Daniel Velez there for the final podium position behind.
Absolutely correct. I apologize if I misspoke. This is Omar Escorcia and Mikhail Charles competing for P1 currently. Like you said, Carol Eaton is 10 seconds back off of this. Not used to seeing such a big disparity there, as there was a big moment for Michael Charles trying to come into that corner, and he nearly lost it, going a little bit deep and wide, but still the gap remains at around half a second between these two drivers.
Cigar, could we tune into that battle between Shannon and Kurt Moss? Because Kurt has entered back into the points positions now in P8 and is chasing down the likes of Roger Keller, my apologies, with Shannon just a
lock up from Michael Charles going into what looks like Abbey there. Man, so that battle has concluded, and we're right on board with K Moss. As we look forward, Roger Keller will be the next driver up on the mark for him. 7/10 up the road currently, but lap traffic given, lap traffic taken away. Taj Edwards asks what happened to Moss.
Well, Kurt ended up going into the pits. I think it's a drive-through penalty which took him out of the points, but that does lend to him now fighting to gain back as many positions as possible.
And you got to give hats off to a driver that comes back from an egregious penalty like that, as the Toyota nearly takes out K Moss, running very deep and wide and just carrying Moss with him. And that'll allow Rohan Harris back into the mix now, as Harris closes down the gap to nearly 7/10 themselves. But Moss was in a hectic battle, but now is battling with a hypercar on track.
Well, you know what they say, man. If you can't lose one battle, you can definitely fight the other. That literally just came to my mind. I do apologize. Nobody says that. But that being said, this battle is getting hotter and hotter as we go along.
It really will get a little bit hotter and hotter as time goes on. Cesar Barahona just biding his time right now. 3/10 the gap between himself and Rohei Robinson, as the GT3s start to get passed again by the remaining hypercars on track, and there's the Porsche Penske number 6 getting his way through.
And just an update, Casey Chapman is 4 points behind Kurt Moss. He at the moment is
4 laps down.
wow. So that sounds like Casey is retiring. So that's going to be unfortunate for him, his closest competitor, which means he just needs 2 points to take P2 from Jaden Harrison.
Unfortunate for Casey Jackman, was looking forward to Casey Jackman's run things because they did so well during the practice session as well. And obviously not going his way during the qualifying or the race start. Casey Jackman on 15th place and will separate himself from K Moss that much further in the championship standings.
Look through at Casey to see what had happened. Let you know if it's worthy of a replay or not. Ooh, and it looks like it was just a network disconnection. And we've been having so many of those issues lately in LMU. Nope, never mind. He just lost it. No, that's the server disconnection.
Super unfortunate. Alternate lines being taken from Maggots and Beckett's, 2 different machines, 2 different lines. Goes to show you how well LMU has really driven these cars to be compatible as far as race pace is concerned. But overall, the driving characteristics of each vehicle being highly modified from one another, so that taking different lines still produces similar lap pace, and you can see that by the way that the drivers are reacting to the curves that they're facing on the racetrack. Rohei Robinson leads Cesar Barahona by 4/10 of a second. Omar Escrocia leads Michael Charles by 2.3 seconds currently. Michael Charles lost it going, I believe, into the loop, and a couple wheels dipped off into the gravel for Cesar Barahona. Will slow down his charge as there comes the 8th place, number 8 of Danitos Garcia, trying to chop it up through the hypercar field. Hopefully they make it through cleanly this time. Garcia does manage to do so this time to pass him.
Right behind them is Kimani Eastman and Nathan Bryan, teammates. Jamaican drivers driving the Brazilian livery. Kimani in his best position of the season so far as well. Will we see some team orders, or will we see a move set down the inside, because this is the closest I've seen them together, as a matter of fact. They're literally just pushing each other through the track. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are this is going to be an amazing battle. I assume going into the final race of the championship, there will be no team orders applied, but they're going to be allowed to race each other as hard as possible. They have a good gap to the cars behind. Kamani Eastman and Nathan Bryan both have a 2.9 seconds back to Alex Jarrett running in 5th position. So I believe things should be good enough for them to be able to compete. Looking at Maggots and Beckett's, though, Kamani Eastman falls back 0.6 of a second to their teammate of Nathan Bryan.
That's going to be interesting. I wonder if one has more downforce than the other, which is what's keeping Kimani in contention, as you say, Alex, there in the background. But we are coming up as well. It is 2x fuel, Cigar, and that means that 24% of fuel remaining for Rohe downwards is going to run off in about a few laps, and that's where it can either make or break you. That's where it's going to get very interesting, as a matter of fact, because so many persons have lost their race through the pit stops in the past. So that's going to lend to some very late dramatics, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, as you see on the tower now, 18, 16, 22, 17, 17%. Looks like Carroll Eaton is actually the one doing the best fuel saving right now of the rest of the field, driving, I believe, an Aston Martin Valkyrie. So doing the best fuel saving of the top 5. And hopefully has enough fuel to just go for a splash and dash to make it to the end, or maybe not take tires, take tires. What do you believe is the strategy here, Steven?
I do recommend try your best, just do a splash and dash and try and go without the tires. Right now the thing is, Daniel Velez is just sitting in his slipstream and just waiting on his moment to pounce. But right, I don't think in a sprint race you necessarily need tires. I think it's really just the fuel, the amount of fuel, just calculating it to the T and then running out right at the line. You don't even want to be left with even one extra percentage of virtual energy in those hypercars. But 10% there now for Omar. He's going to have to pit in sooner than later, I'm going to assume, on either this lap or the next.
A lot of drivers approaching the halfway point of the race will have to make their pit stops sooner rather than later. But good call out for the Daniel Velez and Carroll Eaton battle. It's one that slipped my eye there, separated by half a second. This is for the final podium spot in the hypercar category as well. So Daniel Velez has a chance of getting, I believe this would be his maiden podium of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope, he won the race last week, actually.
Did he really? Daniel Velez?
Yes, he did. Ooh, who is that?
That might be
Was that
Moss.
No, that wasn't Moss. That might have been... I'm not even sure. AJ Martin, no. I couldn't tell you. But Moss is in a completely different livery.
Oh, you know who it was? The driver in second place, or in first place. That was Rohe Robinson, involved in an incident with the 12th place car of Matt Titus.
Oh, no.
That ruins his race and sends him back down into 13th. The leader of the GT3s now loses the advantage that he once had. Cesar Barahona and Kaimani Eastman now inherit P1 and P2 respectively. And then Nathan Bryan into third place.
So I am watching the replay. Rohit did go into the pits and then caught up to the rear end of Matty Titus. And it seems as if Matthew maybe lost it for a second there. Trying to see if they made contact.
Very unfortunate there. Mikel Charles and Omar Escorcia are both entering into the pits now.
Okay, so oddly enough, it looked like it was just a servo issue because it looked as if they were both spinning out, but then both of them just started driving like nothing happened. So it doesn't look like it was anything too dramatic based on the replay, because they just continued driving like nothing happened.
Wow.
So yeah, sorry to disappoint you fans, but that looked like it was a little bit more dramatic than we actually anticipated originally.
It was dramatic enough to send Rohei Robinson back down into P9, unfortunately. So that was being a major issue. And there goes Mikel Charles behind Omar Escorcia now.
Rohei actually, he had pit. So even now Nathan Brown as well had pit. He sits in P11, Rohei now in P9. So as the drivers in front of him should be pitting, he should be moving back up in positions slowly but surely.
Okay, good to know. Thank you very much for that update.
I will say though, Rohei has 75% fuel left with 20 minutes remaining. Let's see how that plays out.
Indeed, and it looks like Cam Mora actually leapfrogged themselves in front of Daniel Velez somehow, some way. So it looks like we're going to get a repeat of this battle. 9/10 back, 1.5 seconds back now. Eastman, Barahona, Jarrett, Moss, Keller, all into the pits. Yes, you read that right. Moss is back up in provisional third position during the pit stop cycle. Let's see how this all fares out for the drivers and who's going to come out first. I assume it'll be Cesar Barahona driving the orange and black livery as he gets jacked up and turned around so he can exit pit lane properly. Then we should see, I believe, Kaimani Eastman come out next with Alex Jarrett in fourth. There goes Kaimani Eastman getting jacked down. Looks like a pit stop error of some sort. He's in pits for a very long time right now.
Well, just to give you a quick update as well, Cesar Barahona now sits on pole position with a full tank of gas, at least 20% more than Rohei Robinson, and sits at least 3 seconds ahead. So he has undercut the previous race leader, and the championship leader in Cesar, the Panamanian, looks like he's very well underway for a victory here tonight to close out this championship in quite a dominant nature, if I do say so myself.
Yes, Cesar Barahona has been a force to be reckoned with in this championship series, pretty much winning every single event that he's partaken in, other than the ones that Jaden Harrison has participated in and won, obviously, because Jaden Harrison does Harrison things when he shows up. He won at Circuit de la Sarthe, then he won at Interlagos. His charge being uninterrupted in both of those events and taking P1 points away from Cesar Barahona.
Absolutely. He's been the driver of the season for the GT3 class. Well, as you say, Jaden has done very well in the 3 races that he's done. Yeah, this is just bringing the end of this championship to quite a conclusion. Kurt Moss there looks like he will be taking, I mean, as long as the commentator's curse doesn't come through, but he just needs 2 points to get P2. Casey Chapman, I believe, will will be good, as well as Michelle Wallace should be good in the championship. So not a bad way to end up this championship nonetheless. Daniel Velez there still hunting down the likes of his countryman in Cam Mora. The two a second in between each other.
Side by side battle between K Moss and Roger Keller as Moss goes through it, comps on Keller. Shannon Dotton in the rear right now, resting in 6th place, trying to change things up for themselves. But Moss has done a fantastic recovery drive despite that drive-through penalty that he incurred, climbing all the way back up into 4th position. 2:02.369 will be his fastest lap. His next opponent will be a 2:03.241 of Nathan Bryant. I don't think there's enough time on the clock for him to make up that many seconds. It will be around 8.3 seconds, and it's about a second a lap faster. It's close, but no cigar, and we all know catching is one thing, passing is a whole nother ball game. So it'll be challenging to see K Moss cash back up to Nathan Bryant and get that podium position. What are your thoughts?
Well, we've seen it in the past, but 8 seconds up the field, it might be a daunting task. But hey, we've seen him put some drives in the past. Who knows? Let's watch and see. I'm sorry as well, but I am noticing Carl Eiton is now retired. So I'm trying to see what had happened there. I'll let you know when I've found what it is. Maybe we can show a brief replay.
Okay. Daniel Velez chases down Cam Mora 7/10 back currently and hunting for that podium position right now. And he's charging up the field as swiftly as possible, trying to catch back up to that podium spot. Daniel Velez running very well. And as we said, Daniel Velez actually winning the last race, apparently, unbeknownst to me that I broadcast and I hosted. But Daniel Velez running pretty well, driving his Aston Martin Valkyrie.
And I did find the culprit, and it is the aforementioned Mr. Velez, who looks like he locked his front brakes and just went into the rear of Carl Eiton. And that is pain and suffering for him. I can show it to you if you want it at any point, just let me know. But yeah, that just looks like a disappointing moment for them.
Yeah, let's go ahead and press play in 3, 2, 1.
All right. I'm not sure if you're seeing it.
Yep.
Perfect. So Daniel there just locks his front brakes, rear ends Carroll and sends him into the wall for an early retirement.
Oh, all we see is someone coming out of the pit.
That is disappointing. Okay,
Sorry.
give me 1 second. I am still having some internet issues, so I'm assuming that's what's happening. I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Okay. Heated battle as well between Shannon Dotton and Roger Keller, currently running in P5 and P6, separated by 6/10 of a second currently. Shannon Dotton again trying to secure championship points right now to make it to the end.
All right, I think we're ready when you're ready.
Okay. Ready? Go for it.
Yes, sir. And there you see Daniel Velez was pressuring. They're coming around the likes of, that's Kurt Moss there as they headed down. Locks up his front brakes just that little bit. Still frozen. All right, unfortunately.
There it is. It's playing now.
There it is. Okay, let me rewind it one more time.
Live watching this battle. There it is, flashy on the headlights. And a big lockup of the brakes, a little bump and run to say the least. Stewards are definitely going to have to take a look at that incident and presumably penalty points will be applied to Daniel Velez for this incident. Tell the viewers at home a little bit about the stewarding procedure and the penalty point system that is in existence for the JSRA.
Well, I mean, now it's the best time to get it because if you accumulate a certain amount of points per season, you can get either a qualifying ban, a race ban, or furthermore, a league ban if you're found in multiple incidents. But yeah, we do have a post-race protest system after the race where if the drivers have any incidents, they can report it through the necessary mediums in our Discord channel. However, we still do full race review at the end of the race, in which myself and a few other stewards comes into play, takes a look at all of the incidents throughout the race, and as well pick up any highlights that we can share. That applies not just the penalty points, but also time penalties, as well as warnings and any further disciplinary action. And that is appealed. If there's any appeals, we do go over it quickly with the driver as quickly as possible. And then at the end of that, we normally share we publish the results, my apologies, at the end of the period.
Wonderful stuff. Great to have good stewarding amongst the league of very competitive drivers that are all looking to get an advantage on one another. And it's good to have the system in check to make sure that the drivers stay fair, clean, and on the black stuff.
Absolutely. And while you watch this battle, I'm just tuned in to that battle between Mikhail and Omar. But these two battles that we're watching right now, brother, are absolutely epic.
Yeah, let's actually go over to the battle between Mikhail and Omar Escorcia because the gap has just disappeared to absolutely nothing. And this is the battle for the lead in the hypercar category. Flashy the headlights from Omar Escorcia and Mikhail Charles, both as they try to make it through Shannon Dutton, and they do so narrowly. I believe that'll be Brooklyn's.
You know, the story of this battle between them is the GT3 cars. The traffic has been the winner and the breaker, and with 10 minutes remaining, 9 minutes to be exact, this could be the differentiating factor. Mikhail Charles needs as much points as possible, but still, as it looks, will not be able to take the crown from him, but still bragging rights as he takes a look on the inside. This is going to be the battle. Pushes him wide, and they continue side by side. Omar, what a defense.
Had a little bit of wiggle before the entrance of entry there, and Mikhail Charles didn't need to be invited twice to send it up the inside and go for a quick look and a run of things, but unfortunately didn't have the traction there or the pace to keep up with Omar Escorcia, flashing up the headlights as well to the GT3 field to let them know that they're coming through. Now we're coming down the start-finish straightaway into Cops. We go for the, I believe, 20th time.
Absolutely. These two will bring this battle to the end of this race. They have more than enough fuel. So this should work out for them in the long run.
Yes, more than enough fuel. 36 and 45% remaining. Escorcia, the lower on the end of the percentages of fuel remaining, obviously pushing as hard as he might here on the racetrack. Mikhail Charles tries to look towards the outside line, but the outside is going to turn to the inside for the following corner, but he can't make it in the 868 work out. He had to take to the grass, and he's going to lose out a ton of time to Omar Escorcia.
Now, while this battle goes on, I'm just going to bring some up. As Rohit, he has 26% of fuel remaining with 7.5 minutes remaining and a 10-second gap to Nathan Brown, 17 to Kurt Moss. Kurt Moss is not out of the podium picture just yet because
Rohe might have to pit for at least a splash and dash at the end of this race. Nobody else in the GT3 cars may need to. So I'll continue to watch that and keep you updated. But that can lend to Kurt Moss finishing on the podium here this evening.
Wow, what a turn of events. There goes Velez in the backside of Camora. And it's looking good through entry, but doesn't have a good landing. We talked about this episode of JSRA Cadillac being low on its absolute top speed, while the Valkyrie really has the legs to stretch here on most tracks. But I don't think the Wellington Straight is quite long enough to get to the very top end of these cars, and Daniel Velez has a big wiggle as he gets around Shannon Dotton.
Mikhail Charles has taken the lead from Omar, and this battle is getting even hotter as the two side by side. That was a send from Mikhail Charles.
But it's not quite over yet. Omar Escorcia to the inside line, bumps out Mikhail Charles onto the racetrack. Grooves and edges going through Cobb side by side is a dangerous place to do so, or through Abbey is a dangerous place to do so. Omar Escorcia trying to go the long way around the outside, coming through the loop, and now has to file in single file line as we approach entry.
These two are not giving each other an inch there, Cigar. I mean, they are pushing through. You're seeing the front end plate, as you said, just scraping the ground as they push through the corners. Could tires be a thing right now?
Tires could possibly be fading finally from the race leaders as they've been pushing as hard as they possibly can. Lots of fast corners here. Obviously, we have Cobb, we have Maggots and Beckett's, as well as Abbey to contend with here at Silverstone. So tires could definitely be a thing to happen to the drivers right now. Mikhail Charles leads the event right now in front of Omar Escorcia by just a half a second, but expect that gap to dissipate here very, very shortly.
You know, it was hilarious during practice. Is that the race pace? Because he got so nervous. Giving an inch to eye though, flashy of the headlights there from Mikhail's teammate saying, go brother, go and win this one for us. So right now the 7 Mile Racing team, sponsored by Automotive Arts, as a matter of fact, we'll just give them a quick shout out. He is looking quite dominant here. Just a quick update as well, Rohe Robinson 14%. He's dropped a second to Nathan Brown in the last 2 laps. Will we see a little bit more fuel saving here in the dying stages? But 3-4 minutes remaining, 13%. He is looking like he's gonna have to go into the pits sooner than later.
But only 2 and a bit laps remaining though. Can he make it to the checkered flag? Will be the question. Rohe Robinson trying to secure P2 in front of Nathan Bryant. It'll be a very long pit stop if he does need to come down pit road. It is just a long stretch of things for him to get that fuel that he needs and get back up and running again. Super unfortunate for Rohe Robinson and very unlucky strategy call, but Mikhail Charles leads Omar Escorcia. Cesar Barahona leads Rohe Robinson in the GT3 category, and Nathan Bryan might secure his podium P2.
Inherit on Rohe's car, but I'll continue to watch that. 10 minutes remaining, 3 minutes to go. Will he be able to? Kurt Moss, I'm sure, just smacking his lips, hoping and praying. But yeah, that battle between P1 and P2 and P3 and P4. And I'm sorry, Rohe Robinson heads into the pits and makes contact at pit entry. His race is over. His race is absolutely over.
Oh man, you called it there right from the onset when he came down pit road. And that's super unfortunate for Rohe Robinson. That should promote Kurt Moss up into the podium position, and it does promote him into the podium position. It's definitely not a race win, but he's trying as hard as he might. The gap that was 8.5 seconds has come down to 5 seconds with 2 and a bit remaining in this event so far. Let's check back in with Daniel Velez and Cam Mora as their gap is becoming nothing to talk about here. As they give a little bump in the road to Cam Mora coming out of, I believe that'll be Club and Vale. And now Carol Eaton's teammate dives out of the way, wants nothing to do with these guys.
And that should be the, I don't want to say the overaction of the race, because man, you don't want to get in the way of these.
Another bump in the tushy there from Daniel Velez into Cam Mora, giving him the hurry up and go, coming out of farm in the loop now. And Daniel Velez being a little over aggressive, realizing that he has just this one more lap to get it done. Where is Michael Charles on track? Will he get a bonus lap or not? 144 being the best lap time. I don't think we will get a bonus lap. This should be white flag at this point in time.
Absolutely. And sorry to say it, but Rohey Robinson has retired from this race. Nathan Brown with 10%. But that's just sad in
heartbreaking stuff. This battle right here is not heartbreaking as Daniel Velez tucks in behind the slipstream of Cam Mora coming down the long straightaway. Can he get a move done? Looks to the inside line, backs out of it swiftly though. Falls in single file line, hoping for a better opportunity on a better day. Daniel Velez locks up a little bit, coming down into the club.
No, these guys are countrymen. They both come from Colombia, but they're definitely not on the same team. So that's where it's going to be interesting. But I believe Michael Charles is coming around now to finish up and win this race. As he comes around the final corner. Flashy, flashy of the headlights. You can take it there, brother.
Michael Charles getting the big haul of points tonight. Omar Escorcia in P2. Cam Mora will bring it home in third position provisionally in front of Daniel Velez. Didn't see what happened to separate them by this much now. This is the farthest they've been separated over the last 3 or 4 laps or so. Daniel Velez has been on a rampage trying to push as hard as he might for the last 10 minutes or so, but Cam Mora secures his podium. Daniel Velez into P4, Javier Brando in P5, Danilos Garcia in 6th, Cisneros in 7th.
You want some late?
Go ahead.
Sorry, you want some late race drama? As we are closing out this race, Nathan Bryan in P2, 4%, 3%, and he has a little bit of while to go. Kurt Massey is catching up, and will he be able to catch him up before the end of this race? Only time will tell. But that battle for P2 is still very much so on.
No, I coast at home right now.
Take that back as Nathan Bryan comes around. Cesar did take victory. Nathan Bryan finishes off in P2. Kurt Moss now not too far behind. P3 for the Jamaican.
And Shaden Dotton secures P4 with a ton of positions gained on the evening. I believe started in P8 or so. And worked their way up in the top 4 spots. A driver that doesn't have the qualifying pace, but does have the race pace and consistency finding their way through. Lauren Harris in P5 with Ricardo Suave in 6th place. Roger Keller in 7th. Alex Jarrett in 8th. Imani Eastman in 9th. Matt Titus in 10th. Julian Arce in 11th. AJ Martin, Joel Santamaria, and Rohey Robinson finishing out this race together.
Absolutely, man. I'll get the drivers ready for you.
Right.
in the cool down room, and you can just drag them when you're ready.
Sounds great. Let me get the replay ready. We'll head back over to the booth here for just a second, and we'll stand by for driver interviews. Thank you very much for standing by. Thank you very much for your patience as we get the top 3 in every category gridded and ready to go for their interviews. Please stand by. We'll be right back.
Hello.
Hello, Steven. We're just getting the replay loaded right now.
Okay. Just check your DMs when you get a chance.
Copy that. All right, we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and pull in Cam Mora. I'm actually not seeing Cam Mora. Andreas Mora seems about right. Hello, Andreas Mora. How do you do?
Hey, how are you? I'm doing good.
I'm doing good. That was a bit hectic towards the last 10 minutes of your race. Tell us about what was going through your head and how you were feeling.
I was feeling that I had done more progress behind, so not actually feeling too bad, but yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was just trying to not make any mistakes. I did a couple, but it was great racing. So yeah, it was just thinking not to lock up any tire or get out or crash into a chicken tree or something like that.
It was a great battle to watch. Thank you very much for the entertainment. Is there any part of your race that we may have missed or anything that you'd like to mention? Anybody that you'd like to thank tonight?
Well, I don't know. I guess the part where we were with Ethan and Daniel, the three of us just going through traffic, and there were a couple of very, very close calls, and at the end there was just like a touch between Daniel and Ethan. Well, I would like to thank once again just to the organization, to JSRA and all the sponsors. This was an amazing first tournament with you guys, so looking forward for more.
Thank you so much, Andreas. Really appreciate you being here and supporting the JSRA. It's been a pleasure to have you, and hopefully we'll see you next season as well.
Hey, thank you. Thanks to you for commentating. You're a great commentator, mate. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Andreas. Really appreciate that comment. Have a great night, brother. Stay safe.
Stay safe, you too as well. Bye-bye.
Bye. So, believe that was Campbell or Andreas. Let's talk to Omar Escorcia. Omar Escorcia up in the commentary booth now. Omar, you had a pretty good handle on this race for the majority of it, but a battle with Mikel Charles at the very end.
Yes, my strategy didn't work out because of heat decrease. I think Miguel changed like the front left tire, and I didn't change tires, so I had like a little bit of a gap, like 6 seconds. But then I found some heat decrease on the way, and I lost all the time. So yeah, my strategy went to the dump. So yeah, unfortunately, but it was a good race. I had a fun battle with Miguel. So yeah, I don't even know if I won the championship or not. So I'm kind of lost right now. So I don't know how to react. But yeah, it was a good race.
I believe you have won the championship, but provisionally, of course, based on points alone. You did a great job this entire season. Tell us a little bit about that pit strategy one more time.
Okay, so I had to save. I don't know, doesn't make sense to me. Mikael went full push the whole stint. I had to fuel save just to make it to pit one more lap. But it was I don't know. I don't know. So I was just behind him, and he made a mistake, I think, against GT3. So I overtook him, but we all know Aston. You can get away from the Aston. So yeah, then I tried to go another route with another strategy. It worked at the start, and then it didn't. So yeah, it was not ideal.
Tough race, close calls all around. Omar, is there anybody that you'd like to thank or anybody that you'd like to mention before I let you go?
Okay, shout out Mikel. It was a fun championship. It was really fun to race against him. I hope to see him on the next championship. But for the next one, I'm already got my choice, so I'm going to the GT3 category. So I hope to see him in that one as well. So it's gonna be even more fun, more close racing in the GT3. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to seeing you on track as well, Omar. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much for supporting the JSRA community. Really appreciate all the time that you've invested. Have a great night, brother, and make sure you stay safe out there.
Bye. Have a good one.
Next up, we're going to grab Mikel Charles. Mikel took the big fat W tonight after a hard-fought, grueling battle with Omar Escorcia for the last half of his stint. Talk to us about how you made things possible.
Oh my god, that was a really fun race. I really enjoyed it. Well, going into the race, I didn't really think anything of it. I knew I was going to be a bit faster, but I didn't. My race pace didn't feel too well, so I was just trying to keep like in front and try to keep my position. But I ended up losing P1 because of a GT3, so that wasn't fun. And then I made a huge mistake, so there was a 2-second gap. So I had to just like fight my way back, and it just like it just worked. And then when I went into the pits, I think I switched my front left tire. So that's how he gained like 4 seconds on me in the pits.
Oh, wow. I was going to ask you about the pit stop strategy. Mikel, I was wondering about the tire change because Omar was saying he didn't change any tires whatsoever, but you were able to change a tire, but lose out some time on track, but gain it back. Did you feel the difference in that tire as far as your race pace was concerned?
Well, yeah, but it was a bit tricky because your front left has so much grip, but all of your other tires are just dying. So I just kept slipping like behind them. It was really interesting. But I had way more pace than him, so that's how I was able to catch up with him. But his like defense was really good, so it was a really fun fight.
Awesome to hear. Great to hear that you enjoyed it. The car is so loud I can barely hear the interview, so let me bump him up. I apologize about that.
Yeah. Also, my teammate didn't really have a fun race. He got killed, and because of that, I don't think we're gonna win the team championship.
Oh shoot! I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Team
Yeah,
championship
it's
was
really sad.
very, very close.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Cigar, sorry to cut you guys, but if you could turn down the replay volume just a tad bit, some of the viewers are saying they're struggling to hear. But I'll leave you guys to it.
Turned down the replay volume and turned up Mikel Charles there. Hopefully
Yes,
that ends
please.
up working out.
Thank you.
Now, Mikel, is there anybody that you'd like to thank or anybody you'd like to shout out before we round things out for this season?
Oh well, yeah. I just want to thank Automotive Art K-Man for making this season like doable. Fine print for our kits, and Dapper does games for the livery design and the social media.
Awesome.
And that's about it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for supporting JSRA, and hopefully we'll see you back next season, brother.
Yeah.
Take care. Now, jumping over into the GT3s, we're going to grab K. Moss if he's available. Now, Kurt Voss had a very challenging race from the onset. A drive-through penalty, I believe, at the start of your race. K. Moss, what happened?
Yeah, this game is kind of weird, man. I'm really very upset about it. The formation lap, the box kept slowing up and speeding up, and so while I was trying to catch back up with it, the speed limiter thing came up for you to stop to cap it at 60, and I was like over by 1 or 2 miles an hour, and they gave me a drive through for that.
Oh, wow, super unfortunate. And it really kind of ruined your race, and you had to work your way from the back of the pack forward, but you're able to clinch on to P3. You got to feel good about that, right, Moss?
Yeah, yes and no, because that's the story of my life. At JSRA, I'm always having, for whatever reason, I fall back and have to claw my way back up to the front. But yeah, it was a fun race. I had a few close ones, but in the end, I ended on the podium, so I'm happy with that.
Nice, brother. Nice to hear that you have a positive outlook despite getting a technical infringement due to some finicky coding in the game or in the simulator, right? Let's just put it that way. But glad to hear you're on a positive note and you're driving the 823 again. Hopefully we'll see you back for next season. Now, Moss, is there anybody that you'd like to thank or anybody you want to shout out?
Well, just everybody for turning up to the races, man. The more the merrier. It was a lot more fun with a pretty decent grid. And as always, JSRA for putting on these races, and Esco Hotel, the new sponsors for the league. We really appreciate you guys. And of course, we thank you for taking over from Steven with his internet issues. So thank you for bringing the races to everybody.
No problem, brother. Proud to do it for the JSRA. Thank you very much, Moss, for the shout out as well. And we'll talk to you next season more times than I can count. I'm pretty sure about that.
No doubt, man. Have a good one, bro.
You too, brother. Thank you. Next up, we're going to grab Nathan Bryan. Now, Nathan Bryan, you had a pretty quiet race for the most part, didn't you?
Yes. I was actually in a battle with my teammate, Kimani, for a little while, but after the first pit for us, that's when the battle kind of ended, and then I was just kind of maintaining my pace, really.
Yeah, we're looking at the battle between yourself and Kaimani Eastman there, and it lasted for quite some time. Did you expect to hop up onto the podium, let alone P2?
Honestly, wasn't expecting podium at all. I was hoping for a top 5, but definitely going into this race, I was just trying to get a top 5. So definitely very happy with the result.
Glad to hear it, man. Very glad to hear it. Now, Nathan Bryan, anybody that you'd like to shout out or thank?
Well, I'd like to thank, my teammate, for helping me kind of prepare, because I had a week off because I was out of town, so coming back I was kind of rusty. You know, my teammate helped me, Jaden Harrison as well. You know, he's not here. Good luck to him in the Dominican Republic. But yeah, just thanks for the support. Anyone was cheering me on. I finished the race just barely, but you know, finished nonetheless.
On fumes, as I was told.
Yes, fumes.
Well, good job to you. Thank you very much for those shout outs to your team and to Jaden Harrison. Best of luck to him in the future. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for your participation in the JSRA. Really appreciate it, because without the drivers, we would be nowhere. So thank you so much, Nathan Bryan, for all of your support and the time that you invested into this community. And we'll let you go now, and we're going to talk to Cesar Barahona next.
All right, sounds good. Have a good night.
Have a great night, brother. Cesar Barahona. ¿Qué pasó, güey?
Hello.
Hey, man, you had a pretty stellar drive tonight. Had to work your way back from, I think, P5 on the start of qualifying and clinch P1 somehow, some way. What is it about your race pace over your qualifying pace that allows you to do that?
I think in the qualify, I see that I definitely not have the pace of the leader. But I think I practice a lot the pace of the race. I think when I'm practice, I don't focus too much on one lap. But in the beginning, I think that with the pace that I have, I think maybe finish P5 or P4. But I don't know in the beginning. I think the first place, I don't know, I don't remember who, but they had a drive-through. I think when in the start the start of the race, I don't know if he jumped the start. And I think I don't know if it was an accident or something ahead, but I was catching positions and in the first stint I think I was second, fighting with Brian. I don't remember well, and he pits so early, and I take the advantage and maintain some laps P1, doing some good laps until I box. And when I came out of the box, I think I was first. I don't know if he put not much fuel in the beginning, but I came from the box P1, and later I just have to maintain a decent pace and the win comes out. I think in like I was saying before, in the championship, maybe I know that I'm not the fastest. There's people so much faster than me, like Harrison, like Moss, like Wallace, like Brian, but the difference, I think, in the race, somehow I am consistent and I don't make much mistakes and try to not spun out or be in an incident or crash. Try to be very careful with the traffic, with the hypercars, and in the end, I think that was the key for the championship.
100%. Couldn't have said it better myself. Cesar, is there anybody that you'd like to shout out or anybody that you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank my wife that always supports me to do this. This hobby is consume a lot of time on practice, and also my team PTY Sim Racing for letting me compete in this platform, give me the opportunity and the chance to race and be competitive in this platform. And the sponsors also, Panama Racing Simulators, Alejandro Guevara Mechanic, Afro Photos, for believing in us and support us. I think, and the sponsor of you also, that sees all this race and believing in us also.
For sure, man. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else on my Friday evening. Thank you very much for joining me, Cesar. Best of luck to you in the next season, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you so much.
And I believe that's going to round things out for us tonight, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. I'm your host, Sagar Bakshi, aka The Real High, taking you from green to checkered flag tonight and throughout this season. It's been a pleasure to be with you all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications when we go live next. It goes a long way to help out with the analytics and help the JSRA community grow even more. Big shout out and big ups to S Hotel, our title sponsor that provided us with all the prize money that we needed for commentary, for the prizes, for the drivers, for the servers, for everything that you see in here. Thank you very much to S Hotel for believing in the JSRA. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart to Steven for hiring me to do this commentary and be a part of these amazing events. Thank you very much to all the participants tonight and throughout the championship to make this season as packed as possible. We wish we can get more drivers involved, and if you'd like to get involved, check out JSRA on the SimGrid. It's as easy as that. Go ahead and click on SimGrid, check out the championships that are coming up, and get yourself enrolled and get yourself installed into your rig. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be your host, as always, for the final time of 2025 season of the multi-class endurance event. I have to say adieu, goodbye, have a great night, and as always, make sure you stay safe out there.